what if our mind's way of solving for an emotional missing element was to create an ideal? In this sense, it's always seeking a physical action from the body. Now, as this action kind of comes to its conclusion, we reach the state where we're supposed to be experiencing uh, this, let's call it, mental creation of emotion. And when we get there, it doesn't quite feel as fulfilling as we thought it would be. Why is that? I think this is to point to the fact that it is emotion itself that the mind was seeking, and not specifically the mechanical action of the body to achieve a certain ends. In this way that we kind of were seeking externally for something that we need to develop internally. And in this way, if we take a deeper look at what this achievement was supposed to give to us, we then see again that it is again emotionally based, and is also most likely based on a certain story or ideal. This ideology allows us to experience. This experience then builds on what we've accomplished for ourselves, and also then what we really truly want to embody. When we embody this emotion, it is soothing to the soul. This is something that causes a great deal of harmony and causes us to be more relaxed, because we realize that we don't have to fight so hard for the thing that it is that we're looking for. What if this was true? If this was true, I believe that we would find a lot of uh, kind of misunderstanding in life. We might find that people often chase after something that means nothing, only to find out that the thing is still missing. Ideally, if we invest too much mentally into this outcome, it can cause one, a kind of reflection that causes great pain, because we decide to sacrifice a lot of things to gain this. And we now realize that sacrifice was definitely not worth it. Another way that we can kind of mentally approach this, if we're being a little too kind of resistant to the underpinning of what this whole thing was about, is that we might find that we pick another goal and we try to achieve this. And we kind of continue the process of always doing that, always missing the mark, realizing that if it is a feeling that we are seeking, then we have to commit ourselves to some kind of personal study. And in this personal study, often in history, they have kind of suggested that taking on a passion would bring you to this conclusion. The reason why following a passion is so powerful is that it will force you to overcome a lot of your discomforts to achieve this one thing. Once you get totally invested in it, if you are shy, you will have to be bold to say or speak your message. If you are, let's say, too bold, you will have to become quiet to be able to get across your message. And in this way, it kind of smooths out the rough edges, and then you're able to see kind of the change of who you were and who you are now. And this is kind of reflected in how well you're able to bring across your topic, you're able to present your idea, or you're able to kind of enrapture other people in the concept that you're putting forward. Now, it's very hard also, though, to find a passion. So they suggest that you pick anything that you find interesting. Uh, this once was a lot easier task to do, but based on the amount of information that is kind of given to us at once, it becomes very confusing. There is a vast sea of endless possibilities which are seemingly at our fingertips, and this causes lack of focus when one's looking for something. And it also reduces the concept of amount of time that's needed to achieve a deeper expression in this thing. So with that kind of distortion to what we really want to achieve, it's no wonder that we have so much confusion. I think we're at a point now where we're slowly starting to see that what we're searching for might not be so physical. And our focus now is on mental health. And surely we'll see that mental health is great, but there's something underpinning that, which is emotional health. Until then, mental health is more of an expression of something not happening. And as humans, we like to solve and come up with concrete things that we can change. And in dealing with the mental health thing, I fear that we might end up just creating band-aids for a more serious thing, and this band-aid will lead to more challenges and deeper concerns. When somebody is in a state where their mind has been kind of forced to realize the emotional strain that they've put themselves under or are in, then we're able to see that the release of this thing is generally an emotional factor and has to do more with the lifestyle of what the person is living, which is mainly the story that they're telling themselves continuously throughout life. Ideally, we need to challenge this way of thinking, and to do so, new experiences and new realities need to be explored. And this again points to the power of having a passion. Now, we might not be able to eradicate the whole mental strain, but the idea that the mind is kind of turning in on itself means generally that two moral elements of the body are in conflict. So if the mind is in conflict with emotions, or emotion in conflict with the mind, then we have this kind of turning against oneself. In this way, I view that all things that kind of go against themselves when it has to do with the body has to do with very strong conflicting emotions, mindsets, or strays away from reality, in this way causing a style of injury. Now, that all being said, it is the kind of duty of self-care to kind of recreate the experience itself that leads to the ultimate conclusion of the restoration of that emotion. Life is a journey, therefore self-care is also a journey. This journey of self-care is restorative, therefore it sheds light onto things that are kind of shrouded in more of a mystery or darkness for that person. This mystery or darkness can be considered the subconscious, the things that we repress, i.e. emotions, and or certain realities of things, and or certain strengths and insights that we already have, but we're just not able at the time to bring them forward into kind of how our character is. So that is just a quick insight into what if scenario of the way of viewing, let's call it health, based on the disruption between mental, physical, and emotional aspects.